Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where we are so happy to have Wellston Mayor Anthony Brenner here with us this morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. I'm sorry, they stir in my words.
I can't speak. I don't know. I swear it's the cold weather or something. But no, we are so happy to have you here. I know that you have so much stuff going on, and we always look forward to having updates from our local officials, just to find out kind of, sometimes we get a little sneak peek of information, but just find out kind of, what's going on and all of that. And I know you guys have a little bit of controversy going on right now with the 911 stuff. So we're going to get into all of that, as you have so graciously agreed to. So we're going to tell you all the skinny of what's happening in the Wellston area here in just a moment. But first, we have a message, and we'll be back with the mayor in just a second.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, and we are back with Wellston Mayor Anthony Brenner, and we are so happy to have you here today. And I know that you just love coming on talking on TV.
Yes, I do.
Hey, listen. You have gone from growling about it a little bit to being happy to be here, I think.
Yeah, it's good.
So, it's fun. We have fun.
Yes, it's good to get the information out there, too, so it's good.
It is, and a lot of times, it's good. I love having folks on to just kind of talk facts because, with social media now and all of that, everybody's a keyboard warrior, and everybody can kind of spew off their own opinions and stuff, which we're all entitled to, and that's perfectly fine. But sometimes facts get thrown out that aren't true or whatever, and so we want to kind of just touch on a few things today and
I like
clear the air. How's that?
Sounds good.
Well, very good. Well, so we're getting into, parks and recreation season and all that. Amazing recreation department and facilities there. And I don't know that we haven't even talked about this yet. I don't know if you came prepared to talk about any of that stuff today or not, but how is that all going? Because you actually hired a recreation director or something of that sort.
Rec director, yep, John Darrow. So it's exciting because we're changing. We changed a lot of the way the city's doing business as far as the recreation department. It was ran by a nonprofit. Now the city's taking it over. So
yes,
it's exciting for that. And some of the things that have changed in a very positive way that I like seeing is we brought in adult leagues now. So we're doing.
Okay, I had no idea about that. That's cool.
It is good. We're doing softball. I'm sorry, I said softball. We're doing basketball and volleyball. We're also going to have pickleball coming up. And I'm hoping by the fall we'll have a softball league going.
Yeah.
So we just have the adult leagues. Give the adults, and they're filling up. Every time we put a sport out there, it fills right up. So it's exciting because people obviously want it. So it's good to have it in the city. So that's been going really well.
Good. Plus, we're all just tired of being cooped up, and people want to get outside and do some fun things. So, or just do something in general.
Yes.
Which is nice.
Yes. We're doing the fishing tournament this weekend down at it's a bank fishing tournament down at the strip mine, so we're excited to have that. Not this weekend, I'm sorry. I didn't write down the date. It's coming up, I think it's 2 weekends from now. But John Darrow, he has all on the website. You can come check out the Facebook page for the Wellston Rec, and it's all on there. So there's a lot of good stuff going on.
So John's on it.
John Darrow is all over it. Yes, sir. Ma'am, I'm sorry. He's a sir.
Oh, it's okay. I've been called way worse, trust me. You can't hurt these feelings. So, no, that is awesome. So how do people sign up for those? Just on the website? Or?
The website, and then depending when the sports are happening, he normally has sign-ups that he'll set up to do.
Okay.
We just put down at the recreation fields, we just put in a office form down there, so he does have a location that people can go to. But it's not always open because the people who work there are out doing grass cutting, taking care of the field.
Right.
So, but there is an office now that people can go to sign up for sports.
And is that down there by like where the ball fields is? Okay, I think that you said that, but I just
it's
wanted
right on
to-
the Gravel Park. It's a old. It ain't old. We redid it all, but it's one of those Amish buildings.
Okay.
That sits down there for signups and stuff, and office space for the guys. So it's nice.
Perfect. So, and then Little League, I assume you sign up the same same way?
He just did a sign up. He did it at the city building because his office wasn't ready, but we did them at the city building. But yes, same way. And online, of course, is the easiest method to sign up. So,
And I think that unbelievably for small communities in Southern Ohio, just in general, I think our municipalities have some amazing ball fields and places to hold tournaments. And I know you guys do a lot of that stuff, which again is huge for economic impact in our areas.
it is.
It's hotels, it's restaurants, it's grocery stores, it's gas stations, it's all of that stuff.
We are in that same area down there, in that same train of thought. We're doing the RV park is getting ready to start. We did some digging on it.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, we're working on it. It had a little bit of a hold up because there was an old plant there, and the historic preservation for the state of Ohio wanted to come down and make sure we wasn't going to tear out anything that was of significance.
Sure.
So we're not, and so we got the go ahead to move forward again. So we're back on track to hopefully get to be breaking ground on that real soon. That's a $1.8 million project for this phase. Of course, there's going to be follow-ons after it, but it's a big deal for us. Right now, we don't currently have, outside of the fairgrounds in the city limits, we don't have any place for that. But a lot of people come to town for our tournaments. They end up coming to Jackson or Chillicothe or Athens to stay. So it's going to give them an opportunity to stay in Wellston, which will help drive our local businesses for restaurants and shopping. So we're excited for it.
So can you spill the tea a little bit on, first phase is I think you said $8 million, and I think that was some help from some grants and other
it's all
things.
Grant. Yep, the AMLA grant.
But so what will be involved in that phase? And then if you would spill a little bit about what's in the future works.
So the first phase will be it'll put the RV part slots all along the strip mine along the water. It's going to put all the sites down there, put the roads in. It'll get the building up and running for the office space, and it'll just get the bathhouse in. It'll get all the requirements,
the necessities,
things you have to have, and then the other stuff we'll start adding on. I mean, of course, you got to have some small recreation like playground equipment, stuff like that. We're chasing grant money already for that. Then there's an upper section that we want to add a whole nother row of RV slots that just as soon as we get funding, we'll add them. So we're just moving on, and we also want to put in some cabins, some of the small cabins for short stay.
Fun.
Yeah. So just give people some options to stay. Yeah, we're excited for it.
That sounds cool. Yeah, and I mean, just why let people go other places when they could just stay right there?
That's our thought. So.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah,
all right, so I'll let you pick the next topic.
So the next one that I'm excited about, it's coming soon. Mindy Berry, probably about Mindy Berry. She works at Mindy Ice, and I'll go down to our office down there.
Love us some Mindy, yes.
Yep. She, about 3 years ago, we wanted to do a project down, and she spearheaded the whole thing over at Kelly Lambert Park. We put in a small playground equipment, about $100,000 worth of playground equipment. Stays packed all summer long. It's no, pardon me, on a nice day, it's no big deal to see 20, 30 kids in there. So
as it should be, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that, over at Brenner on the south end of town, we got a grant this year for $380,000. We already bought the playground. We bought $300,000 worth of playground equipment. We are making a beautiful playground. We're super excited to have it. It already got delivered. We're waiting for the install to happen. It is a lot. So 3 stories tall. It's a monster. So we're super excited for that. So that'll be this spring.
That is so exciting. What's your goal for having that one done?
Before school lets out.
Oh,
So that's our goal. Yep.
That fast.
Yes. Yep. We're excited for it.
All right. So, are you going to go down there and play?
Of course. What else would I do? Yeah.
I know, right?
I don't know if I can fit down the slides, but I'll try. There's those tube slides. So I'm not sure I can fit down them, but I'll try.
You know, it was all fun and games till they put the tube around it and our big butts can't get down the slide. Although a bit safer than the ones that we grew up on.
Definitely safer. Definitely. And they don't get hot with the sun.
Dude,
So.
I can remember, I swear to God, I went to Kinnison Elementary, and you all know, if you went to Kinnison, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and other grade schools had the same thing. Number one, I can't tell you how many countless friends fell off the top of the slide with broken arms.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, you would go to go down it, and your skin either burnt or it was so hot that you just got stuck.
Yes.
You wouldn't slide, and you burnt your legs, and I don't know why anyone thought that was a brilliant idea.
It was awful. We had one it was at Kelly Lambert Park, and it was one of the big tall metal slide things.
Metal, yes.
And our insurance guy come, and he didn't even know about the park, and he goes over and he looks at it, and he goes, I got to be honest with you, that is literally the deadliest slide in America. More people die on that thing than any other slide.
It's not funny, but I can see that happening.
Okay, we're going to take that down.
Yeah, be done with the slide.
Yeah, they're shockingly dangerous. The one that we had over there was really tall. It was like 12 foot. It was a really big one. And he goes, that is super, super dangerous. So.
Well, and I think about, we were so dumb. At Kinnison, we had, they had these monkey bars that were like metal, once again. And it was just like a bar, like a parallel bar.
Nice.
And we would literally hang from our legs and swing up and do like flips and land on the ground. And who thought that was a good idea?
We survived it. It's fine. So
I guess you'd get off on the swings and you'd like go so high that you'd flip around, like go over top of them, and just crazy stuff. So anyway, playground equipment is much safer than it used to be.
It is, and we're excited for it. We got the rubber matting for the ground, so it's going to be a really nice park. I can't wait for it. I'm excited.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's good.
And that will be exactly where again?
It's going to be at Blamer. It's on the south end of town. There's already a baseball field there. There's a few small pieces of equipment, but this is obviously going to be a huge upgrade.
This is going to be huge. And
yes.
Before school gets out, I mean, that's
the goal.
That's a pretty sizable goal.
We also got another grant for that same park, a CDBG grant. We're going to be fencing in the basketball courts, putting lights on it. We're going to line the court for pickleball. So we'll have a basketball court and 2 pickleball courts. So we're excited. It's going to be a lot of upgrades to that little park.
You know, I'm so glad about this pickleball thing because, you know, as somebody that has really bad knees and just isn't as athletic as I once was, to say the least, this pickleball craze seems like something that's a little more inclusive for everyone.
People, I've
never played it even.
That's what I was about to say. Neither have I. But it's super popular. People love it.
It's huge.
So I got to try it. As soon as we get our courts in, I will try it. But people seem to love it.
It was funny. We were just on a cruise a few weeks ago, and they had they actually took like an outdoor area that was just for seating, and they had like a movie, like a big screen and whatever, and they'll set seats up, whatever. But during the day, they took all that down, and it was a pickleball court during the day. And so there was a walking track, so we would be like walking, and there wasn't a time when there weren't people, even on a cruise ship, playing pickleball. I thought that was like really crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Pretty cool stuff. So no, that's wonderful, and it's something that gets you out and about, but it's not as strenuous as some of the crazy activities that we all get into. So yeah,
true.
Pickleball. Hey, you can do an adult league for that for sure too.
Yes, I know it. That'll be right up John's alley there. So
get on it, John. I'm sure you already are. All right. So what else is going on?
So this is one that I know that you probably have some personal care in, but we're doing our surf launch for our DORA coming up on the 15th. So we're excited for that. It's our first. It's going to be our soft go at it, just to open one up. It's only going to be for a few hours, but we're going to hold a DORA event. It's for a fundraiser.
Okay, and let's back up a minute and talk about like what DORA is, because we are talking about doing it here in downtown Jackson, and it hasn't moved very far, but you all were kind of pioneers in Southern Ohio here, and went ahead and got that passed. So could you tell everybody what DORA is for those that don't know?
It's the outdoor refreshment area, and I will tell you, I would not say we're pioneers. We are years behind the curve.
Listen to what I'm saying. Everybody in the world has a DORA except for us. But anyway,
we were way.
neither here nor there. That's my dig.
So,
Get on it.
we were slow to it also because we wanted to see other cities' issues before we jumped on board. And we were slow to it, but like we watched Athens, Chillicothe, Logan, a lot of other places who did it, and we watched how they did it. The
Don't
issues they
reinvent
had.
the wheel.
Exactly.
Just do it.
Find out what
How
issues
they
they
do it.
had, and then we'll modify from there. And it was shocking that it was actually very low issues.
Yeah. So what are your issues? We haven't had any.
That's basically
Okay.
what
Cool.
we heard everywhere we go.
Yes.
The only issue
Same.
they did have was the amount of tourism went up. If you want to call that an issue. So
Right. It brought more people to the downtown areas.
it did, and it brought people who probably wouldn't come otherwise. And I don't say this as like men are alcoholics, but a lot of men who wouldn't come to some of these outdoor flea markets or events or things like that come to them because they can walk around, have a beer while their wives are looking
Right.
or whatever.
They can just chill out.
Yep, it brings a different group of people to the events. And I guess whenever you first start talking about it and the stuff you hear, like, oh, it's going to be like Mardi Gras downtown. It is not going to be like
That's not
Mardi
the point.
Gras.
Yeah.
No,
You're
it's-
missing the point.
Mardi Gras is an event, not a.
Yeah.
So it's not. It doesn't just instantly create stuff like that. But
Yeah, the hookers are not going to be hanging out on the corner of the street.
no.
I mean, you
No.
hear all kind of crazy stuff.
But yeah, it's not a. It is low threat and it can be controlled, and it is a tourism device. It's a device for tourism, so it needs to be. It needs to be handled appropriately and have its restraints to it, but it is a good thing for the communities.
You know, and the thing with the DORA is, and then I'll get off my soapbox on that, and we'll talk about your event, is the fact that it's so very well thought out. I mean, we're talking about a very conservative administration in Columbus, and they're for it and recognize the impact that it can have on economic development in downtowns
Yes.
and whatever, number one. Number two, it's very thought out. You all, whatever municipality it has to be or is, has to literally get with the state and present an entire plan from cleanup to boundaries to
Yes.
everything.
Yes, there's a lot that goes into it, and it does take a while to get through the process. And we even struggled in our city council to get everyone on board with it. But it is ultimately going to be good for the communities, but we will tightly control it. The police will tightly monitor it. It just won't be a free for all. But it can be. It is definitely a device that can be used to help drive your tourism.
Yeah, it is. And basically what it is you could go into an establishment that has a liquor license. You can purchase legally a beverage from said place, and they will put it in a special cup. And as long as you are within the boundaries of the DORA, you can go out on the street. You could, shop. You could do whatever if there's outdoor markets or things like that. That's what this is for.
And the local businesses have the right to refuse to let people in with it. They get a sign. Every business will get a sign saying either they want to be involved or not.
Yes.
And if they have a sign that says you can't come in, then that's just
Then you can't come in.
you can't come in.
And you
So
need to
it's-
respect that.
Yes, absolutely. So it's definitely something that can be controlled, and I think it's a good thing for the communities. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So you said that you're actually coming up a DORA event, kind of one of your first. So.
It is. It'll be a soft one. It's going to be on the 15th. It's actually being Scotty's on First is actually going to be the place that's going to. They're doing going to call it a pub crawl. They're going to hit a couple of the businesses in town to get everyone involved, and there's going to do like a small pub crawl. Just to break it in so we all get to see how it works. It's for a fundraiser, so it's good for them. And
I think that this is how a lot of this is tied together, is doing good with this,
exactly.
if that makes any sense.
It is. Yep, I agree. So it's going to be a good event. It's going to be a soft one. On the 15th, like I said, but it'll be a small
Perfect.
event. We don't expect more than maybe 100 people at the most, but it'll be a good event just to break in our
We'll
license.
see.
And, more the merrier. Please come out.
Yes,
So.
please come. Hey, it's for a good cause, right?
It is. So that'll be, and I believe Scotty has it online. So if you want to go on his website, Facebook, I believe he has it on there. So you can sign up to be a part of it.
You know, it's so fun to see. I think we all grew up knowing Janetta and
Yes.
knowing that business, and to say Jeanette is probably infamous is an understatement. So she's just an amazing lady that I feel like everybody knows Jeanette. And
Yes.
to have that business back open as Scotty's, but to have that location back open again is a lot of fun. I mean, in my opinion.
It's been good for the downtown because
Yeah.
it brought in, normally on a Friday night, you'd go downtown and the Mexican restaurant would be the only thing open. And now we do have the patio, and now Scotty's is just packed on the weekend. So he fills the downtown right now. So that's good. It's exciting for our downtown. And
it is.
It's just those small ticks, just keeps improving. So we just got to keep on it. So
that's right. And you guys have a lot of really adorable downtown businesses.
We do, and I'll tell you what's coming soon. And it's out for bid right now. I believe again you have to get with the Jackson County Economic Development. They're the ones spearheading it. But the old Kroger building is out for bid, and we cannot wait for that to be completed.
I heard some information about that the other day.
Yes, we're really excited for that project to get going. Just to have those jobs back in our downtown area.
And that will be a medical office?
It will be. Yeah, it'll be a medical facility. They're going to have a pharmacy in it, and so we're super excited for that. Just to have something that for the economic development for our downtown, that is going to be a key step to get it going. So we're super excited for that one.
Absolutely. That's an amazing one.
Yes.
And then let's see. Louis Theater. What's going on there?
So we hit a little bit of a hiccup on it. Whenever they gave us the grant, so it started out great news with the grant, the $1.5 million, and then it kind of hit a hiccup. They sent it down through the Ohio Development, which requires a match on it, and we don't have the match. So we are working. Senator Steve has been amazing. He's helping us out. He's trying to get it moved into a different department.
Okay.
It got sent there because there's theaters. It was a theater, so they just looked at it like a theater in Columbus. It's not.
I gotcha.
So the match isn't there for it. So we're working right now to either try to help cover the match or to get it moved into a different department.
Into a different category.
So,
they're just pigeonholing it into something that it.
And that's the problem we're having right now.
Yeah,
Senator Steve's been amazing. He's been following up on it. They're working on it. So hopefully with his help, we'll get it moved to somewhere where we can spend the money.
Love having him around. He's he listens and
he does.
He cares.
Yep.
So.
He's doing a great job. So hopefully he'll stay with us on that one, and we'll get it figured out.
Cool.
So, I would love that. That's a big project. It's right in the middle of our downtown.
I know.
So
it's kind of like our marquee. Like it is just such. It can either be the eyesore in the middle of the town, or the ginormous
that marquee is so important too. I'd hate to see it
beautiful
leave.
thing in the middle of town.
Yes, for Wellston, all of our buildings are pretty much flat outside of that marquee, and we really need it to stay. I would hate to see it leave.
Yeah.
It could be such a beautiful building. So
It could.
I'm hoping we get there with it. So.
And your plans for it, I think, using it as event space and all that is so, it's needed. There's so many people that need places to have different things, meetings, parties, whatever.
Yes, and something like that too. It wouldn't be high dollar. It could be something that people could afford to use because it's being funded by grants. So that's exciting. We're working on that one hopefully. The next big one for us, as far as projects go, and it's one of these things that you spend a ton of time and a ton of energy, and no one's ever going to see it.
That's being a mayor at work, right?
Yes.
Government.
So we need a water treatment plant. Well, we're in the process. It's a $20 million project. We already got it. We already got bids accepted. We're starting phase 1 of it. We have 2 plants. One's 100 years old, and the other one's pushing 80 years old. Very failing, aging infrastructure. But so we'll probably have one of the most high tech ones in the southern state of Ohio. We're going to build a very nice plant.
And that's going to happen.
It is. It's already starting.
Okay.
We're already clearing the land right now. The groundbreaking will probably be happening here in April. I think they said for phase 1. So it's a lot of work. It's going to take some time, but we're expecting a year and a half before completion. But it's one of these things we had to do it. It's a huge project that absolutely had to get done.
I can't even imagine the logistics of trying to build a new water plant and then get everything changed over to that, and
it is a lot. It's way more. I started this. I saw when I was service director.
I feel like your mind would just short circuit.
It is shocking the amount of meetings it takes.
Yeah.
So it seems like, hey, let's just build a plant, but no, it is a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So the inspections, the process, it's been a long one. So
Well,
we're
thank
excited
you,
for it.
because somebody probably won't have to worry about that for another 100 years.
Yes, yes, and it's one of the craziest things. All that work goes into it, and like no one ever sees it.
Yeah.
Like you won't even know where it's being built at.
Yeah, you have no idea.
It is what it is. The bike path, we're working for some grants right now to try to extend our bike path.
Oh, okay.
We did and I will tell you, Jeff Bates, through our utility crew, they did a lot of work to try to keep our bike path up, and we even plow it during the winter, so we keep the snow off of
Yes.
it. We do a lot of work to keep that bike path
It's
in good
amazing.
condition, and it is beautiful right now. And we want to extend it southbound more, and we would like to have it run over towards past the ball field out on the south side of the schools. We'd just like to get it to extend it some more. We're applying for grants now. We already have a few out there. Hopefully we'll get something back.
Okay.
But we're working pretty hard on that one just to extend our bike paths because we know people love them. There's only two things in Wellston that we get phone calls on if they're messed up: that bike path and the cemetery. Either one of those two we mess up.
I totally get it. I get both of those, yes.
Yes. So, and with the cemetery, we're moving every year. We do about $50,000 worth. We were doing a huge expansion, a 30-acre expansion on the backside of it.
Oh, my. Okay.
So that's moving forward again this year. We're starting to lay in the rest of the road this year. So it's one of them things. It's just because it's such a huge expense. We're spreading it out over. We have it on an 8-year plan to get it complete. And about the time it's going to get complete, it's about the time we need it. So it's one of those.
Yeah.
It's lined up. So hopefully it'll go well, and we'll just keep moving forward on it.
Forward thinking. Thank you for that.
Yes, yeah, that's a big one. We got it out for bid right now. The next project we're doing, I don't know if you ever, I don't know why you would, travel down New York Avenue in Ohio, down in Wellston. It is a very small, it's a street right off of Pennsylvania, so not a lot of people travel outside of the residents. The south end of it never really got completed. Like they just stopped it right about 10th Street. It's just kind of, it turns into a very narrow road, and it kind of continues up through there. No gravel on both sides for parking. It never got complete like the rest of New York did, which is nice and wide with curbs and gutters. And so we got a grant, CDBG. We're extending it one more block this year, widening it back out, putting curbs and gutters in, and widening it. And then, of course, the goal is to continue all the way down New York Avenue, but it's just, time and money like everything. So that project's moving. So we're pretty excited about that to get another one. With the streets, we're also starting this fall, we start the ODOT Small Cities and TAP to redo Ohio Avenue through the main downtown. It'll be from...
See, Ohio is like, yeah, okay,
Yep,
I know
Ohio.
where
Yeah, that's why I said Ohio. Maybe I was thinking of Ohio Avenue. So Ohio Avenue, it's the downtown strip,
Yes.
right past the Louis.
Right.
That whole street's getting redone. We're widening it up a little bit.
okay.
New sidewalks, fixing the drainage, paving it, new lights.
It will be an inconvenience, and we all know this, but it will be very nice when it gets done.
It will be. I know Jackson's getting ready to do a very similar
Yes.
project, and it is. It is a massive
gonna be
inconvenience.
It's
But
gonna
it's
be a
one of them
nightmare
things
for a minute.
you have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you there's no other way to fix it.
Right.
So it is an inconvenience.
It's progress, folks.
Yes. We already talked about the Louis, so I think that leaves us one subject that we have been dancing around on my list of subjects.
All right. So, Mr. Mayor, let's talk for a minute about this 911 situation
Yes.
going on in Wellston. And if you all have been living under a rock and haven't been paying attention to anything that Pete and I talk about here on the news, or have read the paper, or whatever, there is a situation in Wellston. And you can explain it better than I. So I will pass the torch to you. And this does have to do with 911 operations. And Wellston does something a bit different than most places. So I guess that's kind of maybe to start, or explain what's the deal.
I'll tell you. I'll start with the what led us down this path.
Okay.
And then we can break it. Well, maybe we should start with the dispatch. So kind of what you're saying, how it operates. That's a fair point. So currently, right now, when you call 911 anywhere in the county, you're going to call the Jackson County Sheriff's Department. That's who you call. You call the sheriff's dispatch down there on Main. And then it gets sent to either Jackson PD or Wellston PD once you tell them where you're at.
Sure.
For police department or fire for Jackson. Wellston, if you're in the city of Wellston, you call 911 and you have a fire at your house, the Jackson County Sheriff's Dispatch is going to dispatch fire to your house. They will immediately say, you're going to say you have a fire. They're going to set off the tones down at the fire department.
Down at the Wellston Fire Department.
And our fire department is en route. We already do that. That is how it happens today.
And that's how it happens in Jackson and wherever you are.
And I don't want to speak for Jackson's operations because I know they do something a little different. I think it actually goes over to the police department for Jackson.
Okay.
But I don't want to speak to that. I'm not sure. But
Back
for
up
Wilson,
what I said.
Yeah, I don't want to speak for Randy. But for the police, now, if you call 911 in the city of Wellston and you start telling the dispatcher up here what's going on, she's going, okay, so you need police. Where are you located? And then you're going to tell them Wellston. She's going to put you on hold and transfer you to the Wellston dispatch. So then another dispatcher is going to pick up, and you're going to have to repeat the story to that dispatcher, who is then going to send you a police officer. But if in that process you happen to say, yeah, while that guy was breaking in, my husband had a stroke or my wife had a stroke, so you need CPR. So now they're going to send you back to the sheriff's department because they do CPR. We're not certified to do CPR, to talk through it. So it's kind of this weird layers.
Like a lot of transferring going on.
Yeah, a really weird system. And we don't have the most up-to-date, the best software out there. Jackson does, the CAD system that the sheriff's office does. They have a state-of-the-art system in the sheriff's office, and they've done a very good job upgrading their dispatch center.
Okay, let me stop you right there.
Yep.
You said CAD system, and I didn't know what that meant, and I'd say most people don't know what that means.
Computer automated dispatch. It's their system that they use, and I'm not a dispatcher, but the system that they interface with, I will tell you, I took a tour with it. The sheriff showed us, Ted and Scott Conley took us through it, showed us. It is a very impressive system. A lot of the stuff the officers can do right from inside the car. They can mark themselves in and out of the car without actually having to get on the radios. There's a lot of, they can actually see what other officers are at in the area on the screen from the car or from dispatch.
Okay.
So there's a lot of built-in safety that we currently do not have.
Okay.
So this will be an upgrade for the city of Wellston. We will be upgrading our software system, and we're excited for that part. I mean, it will be an upgrade. We are upgrading our actual services.
And that's cool because, like, people will know, like, so if you call, then the dispatcher knows what officers are closest to wherever you're calling from and all that. It tells
and it
you
might
all
not
that
be
stuff.
our officer. There could be a sheriff because the sheriff has the full county. So if you call and our officers are out at the high school and you're calling down by General Mills, there might be a sheriff closer.
Yeah.
And the dispatcher will be able to see that and send the correct person. So
Gotcha.
There's definitely some upgrades coming with this that we don't have access to right now. So we're excited for that part of it. But ultimately there's the human side. By doing this,
Which is where the controversy comes in.
of course, whenever you're talking jobs, there's emotions involved. And so that's the tough part. And we are going to work very hard to accommodate everyone during this transition.
So how many humans are, okay, so basically what has been proposed, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think I understand, is that then Wellston would stop the system that you're doing with police now, where you call the sheriff's office 911, and then the sheriff's office has to call the Wellston Police Department, and then perhaps they can dispatch somebody, or perhaps maybe not, and then they have to go back to the sheriff's department, whatever.
Yes.
Because you have your own dispatchers at the Wellston Police Department.
Yes.
So what you're proposing is that, as in Jackson or wherever, it would all just go through the sheriff's department.
Yes.
But that would mean that your current dispatchers perhaps will be without job.
There will be.
And that's where
that's
the
always,
human aspect comes in.
and we all hate that. No one wants that to happen.
No,
but
yeah,
there is 2 full-time, 3
I get
part-time individuals. And nobody wants that to happen. But let me start by saying, add on to it, we by no means invented this. A lot of counties around us do it, from Chillicothe, Gallia. We visited several other places that already have a centralized dispatch.
Well, it's efficiency.
It is. And at the end of the day, these small cities, we just don't always have the funds to keep funding all these add-on
For
things.
sure.
And just I'll break down the numbers for you so you know what led us to even look down this path.
Yeah.
So, and one thing people have to realize, and it gets kind of confusing when you talk about cities' budgets, The general fund is the fund that anything can live out of. Anything can come out of the general fund.
Okay.
From our police, fire, anyone can get money out of that. However, money cannot go the other way. Like my water department is doing fine. My water distribution, my water collection, sewer plants, they have plenty of money. There's no issue there at all.
Okay.
They're all self-sufficient. They make enough money to cover their own bills. They have extra money. The general fund struggles. It does not. So to give you a point to it, it has.
But you can't take money from your water department that has excess money, perhaps, and give it to the general fund.
I cannot. And I could go
It
the other
doesn't-
way.
yeah,
General
it
fund can
doesn't-
give money to water,
yeah.
but water cannot give money to the general.
And it's confusing, and it's just government.
It is, yes.
It's just government.
I promise I didn't invent it.
No.
But it all sits
the
in the same
law.
bank account at the bank. It's just all on paper.
Yeah.
That's the confusing part. But so just for reference, the general fund right now brings in about $2.5 million a year. And our budget this year was $2.6 million. Of that $2.6 million, $1.5 million is the police department. They are the lion's share of our general fund goes into the police. So we had a shortfall of $111,000. And right now in carryover, the general fund only has about $600,000 and some change in carryover. So realistically, and with the police increases and the regular increases and the rest of it, it's going to go up by about $30,000 to $40,000 a year. That deficit's going to increase. At the current rate, we'll last about another 3 years. We'll be down to about 20-some thousand ish, and in 4 years, the general fund will be bankrupt. We had to do something.
Which unfortunately gets you back into the state of Wellston years ago, where
I will not let happen.
Which we're not going to let happen
we will
again.
not let happen. So the option is, so obviously the police taking up the majority of that budget, that's where the cuts had to come from.
Okay.
They're the only section that could afford to do cuts that would get us down that far.
Okay.
By doing this, the cost savings to the city is about $150,000 for the first year contract, and then depending on the increases, it'll save us about an additional 20 a year moving forward on top of that 150. So to get rid of a redundant system that doesn't necessarily make sense anyway, and to be able to save 150 right off the bat, and it'll be 170, 100, it'll increase over time. It's one of them things, even if we weren't in a fiscal emergency, it would go facing a fiscal emergency or facing a financial problem.
Sure.
We have to be good stewards of the money regardless.
That's why you're elected, and that's...
Taxpayers don't want to pay taxes to know we're wasting it. And have a system that doesn't provide any extra security or doesn't provide any extra services, but spends $150,000 extra, it just doesn't make fiscal sense. I think people would rather see their sidewalks fixed or roads paved, the water lines that constantly leak. I think they would rather see those things fixed and addressed versus us providing jobs that we don't need to be providing.
Correct. But
it is a tough conversation to have.
It is a tough conversation because you don't ever want to see anyone lose their job, especially over no fault of their own.
Exactly. These are good people. Nothing wrong. It's not like we're getting rid of them because we want rid of them. It is nothing like that.
It's a business decision.
It's a business decision, and that's awful. And no one likes to look at it like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of it is a business decision.
Well, is it possible that some of the folks could move on to do what they're doing, but at the sheriff's department?
Yep, and we talked to Ted Frazier and his people about that, and they're going to take what they can.
Okay.
But we will work hard to. And we have some of these younger dispatchers, the part timers. These are very talented people. They don't need our help to go find a job. I'll be honest with you.
Right,
They will go on their own. But we will help anyone we can. Okay. And we've already discussed the severance for the backside of it. If City Council does decide to do this, so we're going to do the best we can to help these people transition to their next phase.
That's.
But
I guess that's
tough.
as fair as you can be.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, what else can we do? It's tough though. It's not a situation anyone wants to be in. But.
No. Okay, so where do we stand with this decision?
So City Council will be making the final vote on it. So that'll be coming up. I don't want to say the date because I'm not 100% sure. I think it's next week.
Do you know?
I think it's. It will be the next meeting. I think. Hang on, I can tell you.
20th, I think.
Hang on.
Pete says the 20th.
I didn't want to get on my phone. Yes, it is the 20th.
Okay.
I didn't want.
I mean,
but
Pete
yes, that
knows
is the answer.
everything, so just ask him.
I just know what the mayor says and what Jeremiah
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's coming up. It'll be on the 20th. That'll be the final. That'll be the vote for it, and it's tough. And I know Facebook, as we discussed earlier, there's a lot of misinformation out there about it.
Sure.
So I encourage people get to the facts of it, please. And we're an open book. I don't hide anything.
Well,
so,
you've even invited people come.
Yep.
Go to the mayor's office. Call.
Yep, there is no. It's not a secret. Nothing we do is a secret. It's all anyone's welcome to come look at anything.
Sure.
So, but it's just it's a tough decision that had to be made.
It is.
So, if this doesn't happen, the next decision is going to be even tougher because we can't go another year in the red. So the next decision is going to be which police officers are we laying off. And laying off police officers to me is an absolute horrible idea. But when you can't pay the bills, something has to go.
Well, and we're facing that in Jackson right now with this, the income tax and not passing this time. And although I think there was just some confusion with that whole situation and whatever, but that is not what you want to be facing is laying off police officers. I promise you, you do not.
I would say, and when you look at the math of what 3 people is really what needs to. 2 people will fix our problem. 3 people puts us in a good spot as far as salaries go, as far as needing to cut back salaries. And you can look at it during fiscal emergency. They came in, the state did. They take over when during fiscal emergency.
You have no control anymore.
No, and they cut us down to 6 police officers.
Yep.
Which was very tough for the city to manage on. So as we came out of fiscal emergency, those numbers kind of went back up. Now they're back at 9, which happens to be the exact amount that our budget is in the red by. So unfortunately, there's the 3 adding police officers is what. But without we just can't operate with less than 9 police officers. No. It's you can't do it for a 24/7 operation.
Listen, it's a trickle down effect too. People know when your police force is minimized. People know that.
Yes.
And they take advantage of it.
Absolutely. They know when all the cop cars are sitting at the station.
Crazy.
Yes, absolutely. So that's the problem. The state right-sized us. We swelled back up. We can't afford it. So either the cops have to go back to where the state put them at, or something else has to go.
Okay. It's unfortunate. I mean, you're stuck
awful.
Between a rock and a hard
horrible.
place. You are.
I hate it. I hate it.
And nobody wants to lose their job, and
exactly.
You understand that completely.
Yep.
So.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, so there you go. That's and honestly, if you have any questions, please call the mayor's office.
Please do.
You're kind of open.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are not numbers we made up. I promise you, I can print them off, and
yes.
these are the facts. I mean, it is what it is.
All right. Well, very good. Is there anything else you wanted to let as we end on that note?
Yeah. Let's go back to the DORA. So hopefully everyone comes out to the DORA event this weekend on the 15th. That'll be exciting. Something good.
That will be fun.
Positive. So.
Yeah, no, and that's fun. And everybody behave themselves so that it can continue on. That'll be fun. And it's for a good cause.
It is.
Yeah, to help someone out.
Yep, it is. So please, I believe Scotty has it on his website for sign up. So please come down and enjoy the event.
All right. Well, Wellston Mayor Anthony Brenner. See, it wasn't so bad, was it? No, we always have fun.
Yeah,
so, so many great things going on in the city of Wellston. We do appreciate you taking time to hang out with us this morning because I feel like getting those facts out there is so very important.
I agree.
All right. Well, we'll let you get out of here. Pete Wilson's here to do some news. So let's have another message, and we'll be back with Pete right after this.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, TheTelegramNews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Subscribe today at TheTelegramNews.com.
Check it out.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern Rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023.
All right, and we are back with our good friend Pete Wilson, who has some news to report today.
Okay, well, we always have a mixed bag, and
because you're full of it, Pete.
Right. Well, thank you.
In a good way.
Okay. Well, thank you. That amendment came 2 seconds too slow. But anyway, I do want to commend Mayor Brenner for not only coming on the show, but for being so forthcoming.
Yes.
About everything going on, and not just, the quote good stuff, but the stuff, where there's issues involved, and, there's two sides to it. And
there is.
And I thought he was very forthright articulating the situation that the city faces as far as the finances is concerned. And sometimes there just isn't any Pollyanna way through it.
You're exactly right. My first question, these guys can attest to this. I walked in, I said, "We're going to talk about 911." And he said, "Yes, we are." And I said, "Okay, good." And so he didn't run from it at all.
No, I think he was prepared and ready to do that.
Yep.
So that was very, very responsible on his part, truly. All right, in Jackson, we'll switch over to the city of Jackson. And there was a zoning board of appeals meeting, and some news came out publicly that had been rumored that a Tim Hortons restaurant, the chain, is interested in a Jackson location.
Okay.
Now, we can't say that it is coming for sure, but boy, it is getting on track, it looks like.
Okay.
What happened last night at the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting is they have applied for a building permit. A consulting company, planning, architecture, engineering, that is fronting the project for Tim Hortons. They have applied for a building permit. It's been a couple weeks since they did that. But because Jackson has a zoning code that goes back to 1983, in those times, drive-through facilities were kind of like an extra thing. They weren't,
it wasn't the norm.
It wasn't the norm, right. And we remember that Starbucks had to get a conditional use, what is called a conditional use permit for their proposed restaurant, coffee house that's coming soon as well. So it came here at this public meeting last night. Not a whole lot was discussed on the project because it's not controversial or anything, but they did grant the conditional use permit that will allow Tim Hortons to have a drive-through facility, which is a given in today's restaurant world.
Yeah, you don't have a Tim Hortons or a Starbucks without a drive-through.
Right, and you have
For
seen.
the most part. In a town like this.
We have all seen, especially on the quick-serve fast food business, the push is always to have as much drive-through business as possible as a convenience, and also it works out business-wise. But anyway, so some particulars, the little bit that we know. It will be at 752, if it happens, 752 East Main Street. That is between Ohio Valley Bank and the Bob Evans Restaurant. The owner.
I was always told that lot wasn't big enough.
Well, that's the proposed site. It is actually owned by Holzer Consolidated Health Systems. They are still the owner. The property has not been purchased yet, so some things do have to happen. But they have applied for a building permit. Way back when, in the 90s, before Holzer built the hospital, they were eyeing a site for a facility, a hospital or something.
Yes.
And they also owned the property where Bob Evans is now, so there was more property there. So they have held on to part of that property ever since. It's that vacant lot there between the two facilities. But anyway, the building permit indicates, we looked at the document there, 1,734 square foot. The building will cost, according to the building permit, now that's not hard and fast, but the estimated cost $1.1 million. And of course, it will have a drive-through. Nobody from Tim Hortons was there last night. I don't have a contact yet.
Okay.
I don't know if they do have a building plan or a schedule plan, what that would be. But we can say that they have applied for a building permit, so that sounds kind of serious to me of what they want to do.
Yeah.
And so, they have been very development oriented in recent years. The chain is actually owned in Canada. Used to be part of Wendy's. That ended a long time ago. About 15,
I didn't know that.
15, 17 years ago, it was separated off, and it's its own thing now.
Are these company-owned stores or individually
You know,
owned
I
stores?
do not know how that works. I know that they have I don't know whether they're franchise operated or chain operated or a combination of the two.
Okay.
There are restaurants, Tim Hortons in Waverly, Chillicothe, and Portsmouth. And so I think they know that they can make it in this market. And if you're unfamiliar with Tim Hortons, some people call it a coffee house, but of course they have coffee. They have quick serve sandwiches, breakfast, lunch sandwiches, egg muffins, fast food items, donuts. They are considered a donut place.
Yes, very much.
So it's kind of like that. It is kind of like its own niche, but I understand the one in Waverly, just anecdotally talking to people who work in Waverly, that stays pretty busy, it seems like, pretty popular. So, Jackson, a similar sized city, and that is the commercial strip, of course, where there's lots of traffic. So we will see if that happens, but it probably will. Property has to be sold. But I don't know whether they consider a building permit speculative or that's like, hey, we're doing it. But that's as much as we know right now. The next step will be the building permit being granted. But the only question on the building permit, there's no controversy involved here. There were no property owners that showed up last night to say,
backwards on Main
I don't
Street.
want a donut shop next to me. There's no really residences nearby. Maybe a few, they're sprinkled on Main Street, but it's mainly other commercial or office buildings in that area. So we will see what happens there. Jackson City Electric crews, we have a photo of that, Jimmy. We're working actually in front. This is exactly where it is. You can see some of the landmarks by the signs. You see the Ohio Valley Bank there, behind Burger King, behind Ohio Valley Bank. Across the street, you have the Evans Center. They are resetting a pole there. Whether that has anything to do about the development which could occur on that lot, I can't say that for sure, but possibly that was occurring yesterday, coincidence or not.
Okay.
Also, of course, Tim Hortons, I guess you could say they're maybe in the same category of Starbucks as far as a potential competitor, would you say? Starbucks, remember, got approval for a conditional use permit back in January. There was an issue about the facing of the building. That was resolved. And just to review, they are supposed to start their construction. This was January news. In mid-March, that was their hope, weather permitting, and weather looks pretty good the next week. Mid-March, we're about mid-March now, and then they hope to be open, or not, the building done within 6 months. And how much of a turnaround there is on actually opening, I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, that is the situation right now. Another exciting thing that's happening, this was reported in our Saturday paper, is up at the Cherry Hill Retail Center in MacArthur. That's where the Campbell's Market is, where the Goodwill Industries building is. That is where the new MacArthur Center for the University of Rio Grande / Community College will be. This was something that had been pushed through, not announced, not confirmed, and actually Red Thompson Jr. was able to break the news. We haven't had a formal news release yet from the parties, but all this came from the horse's mouth. There's more than one horse here.
Okay.
But Holzer Health System is going to put a clinic in the MacArthur Center up there at when this building gets built. They are working.
Oh, that's cool.
That is a very recent picture of the excavation taking place, the site work there. They hope to have the center built and open for the 2026, sometime in 2026. I'm sure they're aiming for the new school year.
So that's not just for the students, that's like for the whole community?
Well, that was the concept from the very beginning, that, there would be community things in there, room for community things,
That's
a conference
super cool.
center, a place to have events. And one of the things was a small clinic. And we received this information from our good friend Todd Fowler, who is a Holzer executive, used to work here in Jackson. And this is what he told Red. It will be, They plan to start coverage with a nurse practitioner and a cross-trained receptionist medical assistant. The clinic will be open 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. 3 days a week to start. Staffing and hours and days will be expanded as needed. This will be to not only serve, the students that go there, the staff of the college center, and of course this is right near Vinton County High School and Vinton County Middle School, but this will be open to the community as well.
I'll bet that grows pretty quick. What do you want to bet?
Right. It will be small to begin with, but it will be there. That is the key. A clinic there to serve Vinton County and particularly MacArthur. And that will be, once again, it's not next to the center. It is in the center. It is part of the center.
Cool.
So that is ready to go. And even though it will be small, Todd Fowler described it as a prototype and being very modern as far as the look of it. Sweet. And how it is set up. So well, I'm sure we'll be hearing much more about that as time goes on. Don't have a lot of other information that I have time to tell you, but one thing I do want to tell you is another scam alert. This from the Vinton County Sheriff.
Oh man!
And by the way, I
I
talked about that scam that the Jackson County Sheriff reported. Mm-hmm. Well, we were on TV, and I was telling you about that's where. They call you and say you didn't show up for jury duty, you face a fine, maybe jail time. Meet me in front of the sheriff's office or whatever. Another call came in that same morning. I got a call from Chief Deputy Scott Conley that afternoon wanting us to publicize that further.
Okay.
So, it didn't really go away.
Don't fall for it.
But the Vinton County Sheriff's Office, they did this on Friday. This has come to their attention. Probably more than one instance of this happened. But they posted on their Facebook. It's a scam where people are getting messages requesting payment for unpaid toll fees and demanding prompt payment to avoid late fees.
I've gotten those.
I got one.
Text
I got
messages.
one myself.
Have you guys got
I got
them?
one myself for
Yep.
not paying a toll on the Ohio Turnpike, and I haven't been on the Ohio Turnpike for 30 years.
I was gonna say I haven't been on a toll road, and I can't even tell you how long.
But I guess the smartness there is, they probably flash it out to lots of different places and just see what sticks. And with the cameras and the way the tolls work, you might have gone through an area where you were supposed to pay and you didn't, and the camera got you, and you're thinking, oh no, they caught me.
Yep.
And then you think, well, I don't have time to go to jail or pay a $500 fine, so what is it that I owe, and so forth. So
don't do that. Don't fall for it.
But anyway, the sheriff's office and the law enforcement, they usually do pass this information on to the state attorney general's office, and they do find out that these scams are illegitimate.
Oh, yes.
And so anyway, just be vigilant and be smart, and if you get some kind of demand for money or whatever, or for your financial information, be very, very cautious about who you're dealing with.
I agree 100%. Well, thank you, Pete.
All right. Well, we got lots of more to report tomorrow, even if nothing else happens. I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, once again, thanks to Wellston Mayor Anthony Brenner for speaking with us this morning. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you to Pete for stopping by, filling us in on the latest and greatest. Maybe we'll be able to grab some Tim's bits pretty soon.
That is what they call it.
I think is what they're called.
I tell you what, that would be a short walk for us.
I was going to say, it's just right out
Total Media.
Out the front door, isn't it?
It's short enough that you couldn't walk off the calories between here and there.
100%. All right. Well, have a great day, everyone. We thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be right back here tomorrow.